Hello, welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Mike Prangley, and we've all heard the saying, and they all lived happily ever after. But unfortunately, life is not a fairy tale, and when marriage doesn't go as planned, there are ways to find a healthy resolution. Jordan standing by with someone who can help you out.
Dealing with family or marital situations can be tough. Attorney Matthew Hunt with Phillips and Hunt is joining me now with some advice, and he's partner and a board-certified family law attorney. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Nobody wants to have to go through family disputes, marital disputes. Before we get into some suggestions or recommendations that you might have for someone who is going through that, what exactly does family law entail?
So, as you stated, I'm a board-certified expert in marital and family law, so I deal primarily with divorces. However, there's a lot of kind of different areas that branch off of that. There's custody matters in a non-divorced couple, so that's a paternity matter, or it could be anything having to do with modifications of a previously divorce, or it could be a prenuptial agreement that we try to draft a contract prior to the parties entering a marriage to try to help the divorce process in the event that, unfortunately, that does occur.
Right. So what trends have you been seeing then? And the fact that I'm even asking this question is so interesting. There are trends with divorces?
Yeah. So Jacksonville and Florida in prior years has been known to have extremely high divorce rates as compared to those of the nation. But actually, over the last 5 years, the divorce rates are actually dropping, which is a surprising difference in what the trends were 5-10 years ago. I think it's a little combination of multiple factors, one of which is we've got an older population in Florida with the retirement communities, so a lot of the older population are not going through a divorce.
Right.
Additionally, you've got a lot of transplants, a lot of people moving here, resettling their lives in Florida, especially post-COVID, and they're still kind of in that honeymoon stage of a new area, right? And the last is marriages in and of themselves have decreased. There hasn't been a lot of marriages. People are getting married later in life or just choosing to not marry at all. So all of those are causing divorce rates to actually be down.
And obviously someone going through a divorce, I mean, you can only imagine what would be the hardest thing about it. But from your perspective, what would you say?
From my perspective of being a divorce attorney is there's no winning.
Right.
All right. You go through a divorce and you're either losing time with your children, you're losing, your spouse, your partner, or you're losing money and retirement assets. Even when, let's say, you prevail and you win in court, you're still losing part of everything. So there's really no winning in divorce. That's what makes it so hard.
Yeah. And you mentioned prenups earlier. I feel like we've been hearing it a lot in the news with celebrities wanting to go back and update that. Is that a thing? Can you go back after you've already gotten married?
You can. Yeah. Prenups are, they're a smart thing to do. They're not romantic. They're not sexy,
right?
But they're very smart. We talked about the difficulties of going through a divorce, and when you enter a divorce, all bets are off. You're following whatever the law says and the case law says. At least with a prenuptial agreement, you can enter your own contract. If something is to happen, here's what we're going to do. This is going to remain mine. This is going to remain yours. And a lot of people think when they hear about prenups later on, maybe they got married young, and they say, well, I have no options now. But there's postnuptial agreements. And postnuptial agreements are just like prenups. It's just after the marriage date, and you're still entering a contract. And so that's becoming a lot more popular. I'm seeing a lot more calls where people say, we've got children a little older. Maybe we don't want to go through a divorce now, but in the event that it occurs, we want to make sure things are clean and easy.
Right.
And that is an option. And for some people, it's a very smart option.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for telling us about that today. I feel like I learned a lot as well.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this segment again, you can head to our website, and that's firstcoastliving.net.